Oh, guys, do we have an update for the WNBA woke meltdown saga? In the latest update, a mother and daughter were kicked out of the game for wearing a XXXY chromosome shirt. Basically a keep men out of women's sports shirt. It's crazy, guys. Let's get right into it and see what's going on. At least 3 fans were asked by the WNBA security personnel to cover shirts that had messages about transgender women participating in women's sports during Sunday's Fever Dream game. The league said in a statement that the fans should have been free to wear the shirts. So as you can see, the woke mind virus has not only affected the players, the commissioners, and even the security that are working in the stadium. It's insane that people were kicked out of a stadium for expressing their free speech. It's absolutely absurd. But I got one even better for you. They sat down and interviewed the mother and daughter. Let's see what they had to say.
And we were made to cover up our XXXY shirts at this game.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
They gave us shirts.
They gave us T-shirts
I threw mine.
during overtime and told us we had to leave
And this is for the girls.
or cover our shirts up. This just happened.
Where were you sitting?
Floor
4-3 row.
C.
wow.
Yeah.
Third row of floor 3.
And how much were your seats?
$1,000 each around.
Yeah, and we did nothing. Like
We
we
just
were not.
cheered
We were
for
just sitting there. I didn't make signs. I wanted to make signs, but I didn't. I did nothing.
They made
Now-
us put our shirts
and-
on.
I did notice during the game on the Jumbotron, they put up a woman wearing a shirt that said protect trans rights or something.
She was
She's
the one that
who
told
on
because
us.
she was made to zip up her jacket.
So
we
she
told them
also had to zip up her jacket?
But
Yeah, she
I
did.
think that's
But that's bullshit too. She shouldn't have to.
But they put her shirt on the Jumbotron.
Pause. You see what they said? That's one thing that you'll never see from the other side. They said it's BS that the other girl who wore the Protect Trans Athlete shirt had to cover up her shirt. You'll never see that type of grace from the other side. Just want to stop and highlight that.
I know.
It's almost like the message was made and they said now zip it up to make it seem like they're consistent,
Yeah.
but they never were.
Yeah.
No, never are.
And why did you spend so much on tickets? Why was it important for you to be here today?
To support
Sophie
Sophie
Cunningham.
Cunningham and to support women in women's sports because it's just common sense.
And what's the relation here?
That's my
mom.
daughter.
And are you an athlete?
I used to be until I had a bunch of knee surgery.
What sport?
I did also cheer. I did soccer. I did all of that.
Yes.
And did this issue ever come up? Like, did a biological man ever try to play against?
No, we're from here, so it hasn't happened here.
A lot.
But I can't believe that just happened
Yeah, that's
in
shocking.
Atlanta, Georgia.
That is absolutely insane. Supporting women's rights, supporting women's right to compete against other women in sports. And there's silence for that. 2026 is insane. It's like we're living in a twilight zone. Women are being punished for standing up for women's rights in women's spaces. It's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely absurd what we're seeing. And it's shame on the WNBA for not taking a stand and standing with biological women. Shame on them because they're allowing this type of stuff to happen. It's really a shame that a woman who plays professional sports in a women's league is now being punished and her supporters are being punished for trying to stand up for biological women and biological women's sports and biological women's spaces. It's insane that that's a taboo thing. It's frowned upon in today's society. It's absolutely absurd. But they also went on Fox News and spoke to Fox News. Let's see what they said on their interview.
They're spending serious money to show their support. One mom and daughter say they paid roughly $1,000 each to see the Fever play Atlanta over the weekend.
$1,000 is crazy
But
for
during
a WNBA
overtime,
game.
Gateway Center Arena staff approached them, and suddenly their T-shirts were a problem.
We were made to cover up our XXXY shirts at this game.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
They gave us shirts.
They gave us T-shirts
I threw mine.
during overtime and told us we had to leave
And this is for the girls.
or cover our shirts.
Wow.
And we did nothing. Like we
just
were not.
cheered
We
for
were just
Sophie.
sitting there. I didn't make signs.
But wouldn't you know it, another fan was wearing a pro-trans shirt, and the arena seemed a lot more enthusiastic about that message.
She's the one who told on us.
Because she was made to zip up her jacket.
So she also had to zip up her jacket?
But
Yeah, she
I
did.
think that's
But that's too. She shouldn't have to.
But they put her shirt on the Jumbotron.
Here
Put
with
her shirt
more
on
is
the
Casey and
Jumbotron.
Annie Thomason, who were told to cover up their shirts. All right, Casey, what exactly did the security say was so offensive about that cute, adorable shirt?
Well, he didn't know what was offensive about it. He said he didn't even understand. But since someone told on us and said that they were offensive, we had to, cover up, put on our, our Atlanta Dream shirts instead of our XXXY.
Well, Annie, the wellness shirt, I'm sure that's all well and good, but I think the other one's a lot cooler. Annie, I mean, okay, you're a kid, all right? You're there having fun. Your mom is really generous to get you those tickets. You better be giving her a big hug and kiss for that. So awesome that you're there. And yeah, I mean, that's an unbelievable gift. So you're there with your mom having fun. What goes through your mind as a young woman supporting female athletes that this would even come up?
I was flabbergasted. It's the first time I've ever experienced anything like that, and I had no words except like, who's offended by a t-shirt at this point?
Yeah. And who is offended by science?
Great question.
The security guard.
Poor guy, I assume. I mean, it's not his fault. He's just doing what they tell him, right? It's like, poor guy. It's like, it's the worst short end of the stick having to deliver this
I know.
news. But the thing about this that's wild is that free speech extends to certain people in the arena, but not to you.
Right.
Casey, why is that?
Right.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're like 90-10, 95-5 issue on men and women's sports, but
said this 100 times.
5 or 10% is so loud against us, and it makes no sense. Like, common sense, people. Like, that's all we're asking for.
That's insane.
That was a phenomenal way to put that. This is a 90-10 issue, and the 10% is so loud. But not only are they so loud, the 10% is the league. The league has been, since its inception, a predominantly LGBT league. Given the fact that that is a part of the league's identity, I believe that they've almost taken it upon themselves to find themselves responsible to stand up for transgenders because it's part of the LGBT. And the league has attached themselves to this, and it's part of their identity. So I believe by standing with the identity that they've built, they have to stand up for this, even as ridiculous as it may seem. But it seems as though it being a women's league, they can't take a simple stand and say, hey, this is a league for biological women only. We'll only let biological women play in this league. How hard is that? How hard is that? They met and couldn't even define what a woman is. Their commissioner is a woman. Isn't that some shit, guys? That's absolutely absurd. It's truly absurd. It's truly absurd that this is the hill they're choosing to die on, because this really, to me, seems like a very simple issue. And I know to you guys at home, you guys agree. It is truly a very simple issue. It's not rocket science. It's not anything that crazy. It's very simple. And I really feel like the league could take a simple stand and address this with one swift motion. This is a biological women's league. It'll only be for biological women. They're setting themselves up for all the scrutiny they're receiving. Now we got former NBA players saying, oh, I'm a woman, I'm going to come play in the league. And there's a literal transgender player in France that is now looking for the opportunity to come to the league. And how does the league take a stand against this? How are they going to not allow these things to happen? They're saying that these two men that are former NBA players are bad faith actors. But what do you have to say about the literal trans person playing women's basketball in France? Is that what we want to happen here in America? I think Europe has shown us in a lot of ways, in more ways than one, that we don't want to follow their lead. Don't even get me started on that, guys. Don't even get me started on that. Let's see what people are saying. People are addressing the WNBA's response to this.
Another day and another big mistake by the WNBA. Just one day after fans at a Fever versus Dream game said they were told by a security guard to cover their XXXY athletic shirts, the league has put out a statement saying it's aware of an incident where fans were told to cover their shirts and it shouldn't have happened. Well, it did happen, but it's progress because the W is admitting it's wrong. Maybe next time they'll even apologize for something like this. But for now, they're not. For now, they're probably just scrambling because this security guard threw a whole new log on the fire of this culture war that's overshadowing all the basketball going on right now. But let this be a lesson. Stop the gatekeeping. Let fans wear the shirts they want to wear to the games without being bothered and threatened to be removed. The NFL didn't become the NFL by trying to push Eagles fans out of the league just because they're a little different. The W potentially has a very prosperous future ahead of it with a very large fan base. It just needs to accept them. It just needs to stop the gatekeeping.
Wow, that was a phenomenal take. That was a phenomenal take. I commend that guy for his commentary. I loved what he had to say. The WNBA did admit they got it wrong, which they should. But they are to blame for why they got it wrong. Obviously, I'm sure that security guard was acting in what he thought would stop this controversy that we're seeing, to stop this uproar that we're seeing. So he's like, oh, cover it up, cover it up. But they did allow a woman wearing a trans kids belong shirt to be on the Jumbotron. Look how happy it is. Look, people are cheering. Did they put the mom and daughter on the Jumbotron? They paid $1,000 for their seats. I'll tell you right now, they absolutely did not. So they can admit they got it wrong, but the double standard is very blatant. It's happening. They told her to cover up her shirt. I'm sure they did it because the mom and daughter got told. So they're like, oh, well, you got to cover up too. But at the end of the day, they put this on the Jumbotron and the mother and daughter were silenced. So, hey, this is crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff we're seeing. In a women's league, it's now controversial to stand up for women. Insane times we're living in, guys. This is insane times we're living in. And it's even more crazy to me that this is being egged on by the players themselves and the commissioners and the leadership. How can you guys stand for this? It's ridiculous. I just think what they use to justify it all the time is, oh, but this is not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. No. It's not happening at this level. It's happening at the Division I level. It's happening at the high school level and levels below that. And the fact that it's happening at all is a problem. Oh, it's less than 1%. No, it should be zero. It should be zero. Because as we know, it starts small and then it gets big. It's almost like an avalanche. It starts with something small and then it gets big. We know what times we're in, guys. We have to set the standard. We need to make common sense common again. As you can see, guys, they're still making a joke out of the WNBA. Take a look at these fans. These men dressed up as women to come and troll the WNBA. Again, this is their own fault. This is the consequences of their own actions. I'm not gonna lie, this is absolutely ridiculous. Men in dress and wig and makeup, I could never wrap my head around that one. I personally would never do that, but hey, you see security's laughing at it. They're trolling. The trolling is not going to stop. And the WNBA could help themselves by making a swift action. Hey, this is a league for biological women only. Let's shut this down, put this to bed. I honestly am very curious to see what the public response would be if they made that statement. I truly want to know, because I know that the 90% that are in favor of that happening would be very happy and vocal. But that 10% that is standing up against what we're seeing, oh man. I would love to see what they had to say. But yeah, guys, the backlash against Sophie Cunningham is getting worse and worse. The Sophie Cunningham's name has been banned on platforms like Reddit. A lot of people know that Reddit is a kind of woke chat room, if you will. I don't really know much about Reddit. I don't even know if I could call it woke, but the fact that they're banning her name and filtering it out because it brings trolls and people who aren't fans of the W into their chats, it's interesting. The fact that she's even the center of a controversy by being a pro-women's player to champion women is insane to me. And the fact that it's taking measures like this online, I don't know, man. This is absurd. This is absurd. But I want you guys to know something. There are woke commentators melting down about this. Let's take a look at what they have to say about these recent things that we've been seeing in today's news.
24.
The guy that wants to be a woman now, transition and going to WNBA.
I think this is ridiculous. I don't know why this is becoming a story again, and I cannot believe that people are falling for tricks like this right before the midterm elections.
That's what
Like, this is so dumb for Democrats to even be going back down this road, having this conversation. And I hate when they conflate two things, because guess what? I don't know why Sophia Cunningham was asked this question, but if she's asked, should biological men play in the WNBA? The answer should be no. That should be the answer from everybody. Should biological people that were born men play in the WNBA? No. Full stop. Any other thing, and there is no, whoa, so are you saying transgenders don't have a right to say? Man, shut the fuck up. I ain't saying nothing like that. You asked me a specific question. Do transgenders belong in the WNBA if you're born a biological man? No. Okay?
What if they ask you the second question first?
What's the second question?
Do you feel like transgender women have a place in the NBA?
What that got to do with anything? I just dropped 20 motherfucking points and 10 rebounds. Why are you asking me this?
It's very interesting that Charlemagne himself is giving a What rather logical opinion on this? If you guys know anything about Charlemagne, you know that he is very left-leaning. He's a Democrat spokesperson, if you will. He's very pro-Democrat. Joe Biden himself came on Charlemagne's show and told him to his face, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's the wokest shit I've ever heard in my life. So given the fact that even he knows how ridiculous this issue is, it should be a very simple issue. I mean, the fact that it's even debated and taboo and argued upon is truly ridiculous to me, and I can't seem to fathom it and wrap my head around it. But there's more, guys. There's more.
I mean, to me, it just really seems like controversy for controversy's sake.
For no reason.
Like what you said, like it's not even a thing. It's not happening. It's not a threat to anything. Even if it was happening, it wouldn't be a threat to anything.
It's not a threat.
But it's actually not even going on. So why we're talking about it in this way and being inflammatory about, I don't know, just there's a level of pandering that seems to be going on that just doesn't really make sense to me.
And the language around it is very harmful because words mean things. When you have girls against men, that is dangerous language. First of all, keep it the same equal playing field. Second of all, gender identity and sexual preference are two different things. The real threat to women's sports is other toxicity. When you exclude trans kids, trans people, trans women from these spaces, not only are you putting their lives at risk, but you're showing that it's not as inclusive as the premise that it has been before.
And also, like, I always kind of look at things objectively.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever side of this conversation you're on, the language around things, I totally agree needs to change. Because just because something makes you uncomfortable doesn't make it a threat. Just because you don't particularly understand something or understand something's place doesn't make it a threat. When you start to use words like threat or it's dangerous just because you're uncomfortable, you are elevating a level of danger around a particular group of people. And that's not okay. And there should just be more of an invitation to honest discourse and not fear mongering.
That was the most ridiculous ish I've ever heard. And like I said, guys, the liberals are doing mental gymnastics to try to justify this. They start off by saying, oh, it's not a threat. It doesn't even happen. The fact that it happens at any level makes it a threat. It is a threat to the equality of women's sports. It's a threat to women's spaces. It's a bit ridiculous to me, guys. To say that just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't make it a threat is a problem. I'm sorry, if I am a woman and there is a man with man parts in our changing room where we are exposed and vulnerable, that is a threat to her safety. That's a threat to her privacy. And she has a right to feel that way. Every woman has a right to feel that way. Women's spaces should be for biological women only. And the fact that we have this, what I assume is lesbian woman, justifying this is exactly why the WNBA is in the position they're in. Because she's a part of that community and they're going to stand up for the people in their community. To me, the fact that this is even still a conversation is insane. It's ridiculous. The fact that we've gotten to this point in society is absurd to me. I just can't wrap my head around it. But we have one more super woke, leftist, liberal athlete who is coming out in defense of this. Let's take a listen to her commentary.
I want to talk a little bit about your personal style of activism. You have an unprecedented slogan shirt collection. It's well documented. It will be in a museum in Minneapolis at some point after your retirement. It's exceptional. I can't even imagine how big your closet is. It just would be perfectly reasonable for you, and most people do, to just like wear a suit. Why don't you?
Post-COVID, who wanted to go back to wearing suits? I look at some of the pictures and how silly I looked. Wearing suits and heels. It was actually that decision of post-COVID of what were we going to do? We weren't wearing those things anymore. And so how could I rock my new style? I want people to be seen, feel seen, heard. And there's just so many things that we could really champion for women and other marginalized groups. And I just started doing that. And I just heard from so many people what it meant to them. And so we've continued that.
There you go, guys. That's the type of leadership we have in the WNBA. That's the head coach. That's the head coach that came out after Sophie Cunningham's initial comments with the Trans Kids Belong shirt, as you can see. And then you have super famous woke athlete Megan Rapinoe egging her on, fanning the flames of liberalism in sports. It's ridiculous, guys. That is why we're in the position that we're in. because we have these activists who use their platform for activism rather than sports, and they completely lose the plot. You are supposed to be a champion of woman as a woman yourself, and you're calling for the defense of marginalized communities at the expense of women. It's like you're cheering for your own demise because you want woke points, you want claps and pats on the back. It's ridiculous, guys. This is truly ridiculous. Ridiculous times we're living in. And it's truly, truly such a simple issue. It's a 90-10 issue. 90% of women want women's spaces to be for biological women only. It doesn't matter that there's a small minority that may be affected by this. Like if you guys say they're less than 1%, then they shouldn't be affected by this. It shouldn't be that hard. If it's not a threat to the majority, then how is it a threat to the minority? Please, someone make that make sense to me. I just don't get their logic, guys. It makes no sense to me. But hey, we know this is going to continue to unfold because they're making such a simple thing super difficult. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with some more content.